What's the worst piece of financial advice somebody has given you? When my mom said that she will hold my money for me as a kid. Just get it at Rent-A Center. Take out a 401k loan to build a pool. It will raise the value of your house. My father would tell me to max my credit card on a new car, and if they asked for payments just say FM, what are they going to do? My father is several levels of debt hell deep that he's trying to get out of now, but he's at least trying. Yet even if they've recently robbed you, you should still lend them the $500 they need to move to another city. They're your family after all. Dad. I don't even know how Mom married your dumb ass. So when I was 24, I was financially struggling. I had a job that worked me a lot of hours, but only paid me $10 an hour. My parents talked me into buying a brand new 2004 four-door Honda Civic. The pre-interest price tag on it was about $25,000. A few weeks after getting it, my hours got regulated and it took one entire paycheck to make the monthly note on it. I could not afford the insurance on it. I very quickly realized my parents were bad at money. My aunt took me to a car dealership when I was looking to buy my own first car. I was looking at the clunkers I could afford, but she said I should be looking at the new cars. She said, the total price doesn't matter because you make monthly payments. I suddenly understood too well why she had always been so financially unstable. My Phil, when I mention our retirement plan, I never contribute to my retirement account. Money now is always better than money later. I needed to have a conversation with my husband how we would not be supporting his mom and dad and their insane spending when they have no retirement plan and make huge financial mistakes on a weekly basis. Good news is they both make good money. Spend it quickly or it'll get stolen. Coming from someone with a history of losing and blowing their money. That an emergency fund wasn't necessary when you can always get a payday loan or use your credit card. He wasn't joking. Spend whatever is in your bank account the day before payday, you obviously don't need it. Hold on to those French francs, they will be worth a lot someday. I'm not holding my breath. I've lived on my own since I was 17. I bought a car and worked my ass off to pay it off. It needed new tires, so I called my mom to ask her how to go about it. I literally didn't know tires had sizes, for Pete's sake. She told me to just go trade it in for a new car. And I fucking listened to her. I traded a paid-off 5-year-old car because it needed new tires. You guys. Once you cut up the credit card, you don't have to pay it. My cousin is not doing so hot. I'm pretty sure there are warrants out for his arrest in several states. Don't worry about a career, Armageddon will come before you finish high school. My parents, Jehovah's Witnesses. A relative tried to recruit me into Amway. He wound up stuck with a garage full of their products. One of my uncles once told me that I never really had to pay my phone bill. He suggested that I simply jump to another carrier and let the first company cut you off. His life has turned out exactly as you'd imagine. My cousin bought a camper, went camping once, and then decided camping wasn't for them. Rather than selling it, they decided to just stop making the payments and let the bank come and get it. Which, eventually, they did. Just get another credit card. My friend who hasn't worked in 3 years and is currently just vibing with his new credit cards he somehow got approved. 4. 1976 San Francisco, keep renting, no one will ever pay $35,000 for a 2-bedroom house and garage with a sweeping view of the East Bay. Added later, I went back to visit the old neighborhood a few years ago. Those $35,000 stucco homes up many flights of steps perched on the top of Potrero Hill were now all gentrified, remodeled, gated, and asking $1 m, and that was 5 years ago. When I got to university and opened a student current account, I received an interest-free overdraft of about $1,200. I wasn't entirely sure of what that meant. My brother informed me, so that's like your new zero, and encouraged me to use it to buy a new gaming PC. For the next few years I really wish I hadn't taken that advice. He's never been too amazing with his money, so I should have seen that one coming. Put it all on black. Don't take a raise if it puts you into the next tax bracket. And pay the minimum on your credit card to establish good credit. As others have pointed out, sometimes getting into another bracket or other threshold may affect other benefits such as food stamps and other government/non-governmental assistance. Mileage may vary. I was specifically talking about taxes. I got $90 and my 11-year-old son told me I should buy $90 worth of kazoos. No real plan past that. Know what's better than winning money on roulette? Doubling down and winning even more. Me. Don't invest in a 401k. Luckily, I didn't listen. These beanie babies are an investment in our future. Edit, thank you for my first silver. Join my MLM and make lots money. No. Don't major in computer science. Computer scientists are a dime a dozen. I did not take that advice. Guy I haven't seen in 3 years or so wanted to talk me into starting a business with him, because he just got into college for a bachelor's degree in business. Yeah, sure, let me get my checkbook out in this badly illuminated garage while we're both drunk. Guy also got into MLM and weird self-optimization preachers. Get a bigger mortgage, you can deduct more from your taxes. Yeah, dumbass, and I'll be spending double that amount in interest, so why should I? Just ignore the collection call and eventually they will leave you alone. I didn't follow this advice. I had a parking ticket I didn't know about that ended up on my credit, and the guy I mentioned it to gave me that bit of wisdom. Not me, but my dad's friend makes a decent more money than him. He owns boats, takes luxurious trips, buys top-of-the-line clothes and goes to the best restaurant where he orders the most expensive wine he can get. He always tells my dad to live more in the moment, telling him to invest in himself and enjoy his life. My dad is happily planning his retirement with my mom. This guy doesn't have a dime saved. He will work to the day he dies. About 5 years ago, I had a friend who was trying to convince me to study through a private college because they gave her a free iPad. She never finished the course, but kept the iPad. You only got to keep it once you pay your fees and graduate. Mind you, the price of the course included the iPad, so it wasn't free. So last year, 4 years later, I get a call from the college asking for her contact info. She put me down as a reference and they were chasing her down because she still owed her fees and wasn't entitled to keep the iPad. Legit got told to don't buy food, it's a useless investment. Like the hell? Don't go to community college, you'll never get a job. Instead apply at X and X colleges. My grandmother, aunt, uncle, and cousin all told me this, and I really considered their advice because my parents really didn't give a shit what I did. Since I didn't get any scholarships from high school, I decided at least if I went to CC and didn't get a job I wouldn't have student debt and I could just do something else. I went to CC for 2 years totally free on FAFSA grants, it was $800 a semester LOL, and did so well I transferred to a university with a, almost, full ride. I am now a semester away from graduation with a job lined up and all of $4,000 of student debt, which is likely to be forgiven anyway. Had a professor in this kind of bootleg college. He clearly took the job as a favor, he was some Wall Street type. He said he doesn't get why students who are young and have no assets don't just borrow a shit ton of money to pay for college, then declare bankruptcy, since they have no assets anyway. Aside from wrecking your credit, student loans aren't dischargeable by bankruptcy. Incite me to go to a real expensive restaurant where you can spend easily $250 without drinks at a time I only had $700 in bank account and had not paid for my car, groceries, and stuff, because come on, we only live once. First year out of college, working for a financial advisor, and he tried to convince me to put 5% down and buy an apartment in Chicago. It was the summer of 2007. Someone gave me the great advice to take out a loan to pay off a loan. I didn't listen to this advice. They are now is $80,000 debt I am not. Edit, not in a refinancing way to save on interest, he is doing it as a pyramid scheme type thing. I'm sick of being poor, you just got your scholarship. That's so much money. You should totally buy a WII. My dad in 2008, don't invest that $1,000 into Apple. My dad in 2012, Tesla is a pipe dream. Stock won't be worth the paper is printed on. Let's go to the casino and double your paycheck. An uncle told me I should rather spend my money and enjoy life because you only live once, rather than save your money to build up a retirement fund. I am now in my 50s and C0RONA unemployment has devastated the little bit of savings I had. Should never have listened to Uncle Jarvis, crying face. 6/10 things on r/Wall Street bets are the worst financial advice I've ever gotten. Keep it Turkish liras. Not me, but my roommate wanted his girlfriend, someone he admitted couldn't manage money well, to get a credit card so that it would teach her financial responsibility. It sounded like she was being set up for failure. Making someone get a credit card who is already bad with money is just a recipe for future debt. Don't pay off your entire credit card balance when the bill comes. Pay it slowly so that it shows your ability to pay debt over time. This will help your credit score. High school guidance counselor told me not to go to a state school for college. Reasons were 1. I was the valedictorian so I could do better, 2. If I wanted a good job after school I'd need a name on my resume of a more respectable school, and 3. A better school would have more networking opportunities. Yes, so that was a fucking lie. Now I'm in tons of student loan debt. And my first boss after college had gotten his degrees at the state school I originally wanted to go to. EDA, I'm an engineer. He knew I was going into engineering. Not exactly what the question's asking, but my mom has an aunt who thinks the bank is just giving you free money when you use the ATM. My ex, in his mid-20s and lived at home with no expenses, went out of the country for 2 weeks with a budget of $2,700. He was real proud of his breakdown. $1,000 credit available on credit card A. $1,000 credit available on credit card B. $300 in available overdraft. $100 in checking. $300 in savings. I tried to explain that this is not a great way to budget for a trip, and his response was credit cards are meant to be used. As long as you pay the minimum payment, you're good. What do you know about credit cards? You never use it. Start using yours more before you talk to me about money. Someone told me they turned down a promotion/raise to stay in a lower tax bracket. This is from an accountant, yet I know. You should create a LLC and declare your salary as business profits so you don't have to pay taxes. That'd I'd get better credit if I let my credit card accrue some debt and interest month to month. Not the worst, but a common misconception I hear is parents telling their kids to use their credit cards and keep a balance to get better credit. Absolutely false. There's this sub called r/investing. And then there's this sub called r/Wall Street bets. Let's just say I made and lost more money on stonks and YOLOs than I had trying the fundamentals. Lease a car, don't buy used. Leased car price $25,000. My used car I drove for multiple years without maintenance, aside from tires/oil, $3,000. Take out a student loan. You'll be able to pay it back easy when you have a degree. My husband and I were looking to sell our home and buy another, and the realtor told us to put 99 dependents on our taxes so we make more. She said she had done it for years and it was fine. We left pretty quickly after that. My mother, who ruined my credit score in my late teens, early 20s by using my social, without me knowing, to finance appliances, get cable and other bills, never paid on time and actually sent me to collections, just asked me to buy another house in my name so she can open a daycare because her trailer is not fit to be a daycare. In return, she will take care of my 2 kids for free. She lost her brand new home in 2008 because she couldn't keep up with the payments and actually had to file bankruptcy. I spent all my 20s fixing my credit score and I started saving. She also told me that one of her co-workers told her something was going on with the government and that I should take all my savings out of the bank and hide them in my house. I roll. Go to college. You'll figure out what you want to study later. But if you don't go now, you'll never go. Fuck that. What kind of fool spends $80,000 without a goal or purpose? That my $1 carabiner I used for work was a bad investment, from the same guy who, the same week, bought AirPods and opened up a Best Buy credit card saying he was basically getting free money from the card. Don't be a programmer. Your job will get outsourced to India. My dad, when I told him excitedly as a teenager that I tried coding and loved it. I ignored his advice and I'm now a programmer and still love it. Oh, and the pay is great too. I am now making a lot more than he ever did. Trust me, I am your mother. You should download this app and you can't lose with micro trades. Buy low, sell high. It makes it sound like we should all be psychic day traders. I wish I had been taught use expendable income to buy incrementally and hold for long-term growth. From me to me, use the credit card again. You'll pay a bit more off when you get paid later this month. Maxed out 2 credit cards. 19K in debt. Most of that is probably interest. That's how they get you. People who actually pay the cards are no good to the lenders. More like old advice that is no longer relevant. Always take cash to pay for a car, it gives you the advantage. No, nowadays the dealership has an incentive to help you with financing. Never get a credit card. Credit cards and their proper use are important for credit rating. Without a credit history, trying to finance big items is more difficult. Some bits of classic advice stand, including save at least 10% of your income every month, set aside 5 to 10% to just enjoy, fun money, live within your means on the remaining money. And the best I've been given, when you budget for the cash you need on hand for a house purchase, for incidentals like moving and getting the house ready, double that amount because there are always going to be a host of unforeseen things to deal with. Recent terrible advice: I got hit while driving on a highway and have a crinkled in rear side fender and cracked tail light. I can still drive it, but who knows what damage is underneath. My car is only 5 years old with maybe 60k miles, so it's still a great car. Yet, my early 20s friend said I shouldn't get insurance to fix it and instead just pocket the deductible to save up for a down payment on another car. Or maybe file the claim and pocket the money. My deductible is $300, and I wasn't at fault, so the other person's insurance is likely going to pay my deductible. I just straight up cannot understand where he is coming from. Why wouldn't I get the car fixed so I have a fully functional, reliable car? It's, at most, $300. I just don't understand. People all the time tell me not to let finances get in the way of my dreams. yes, I'm gonna let that get in the way. I'm not gonna dig myself $100,000 deep in student loans so I can get my dream job. I'll get something a little less moderate that still makes me happy, thank you.